Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for coming back. Quickly, I just woke up to a very disturbing news. I actually saw this shared on Mutamz channel, and I got so enraged. I decided to lend my own voice to this story. It's so heartbreaking and disturbing that in the wake of the present reality, we shouldn't be dealing with something like this, because our reality at the moment is so heavy and uncertain that we should be focused on dealing with that, not adding other issues to what you're already dealing with now globally. I mean, why are people so vengeful? Why are people so destructive? Why do people want to go out of their way to do things that are so harmful to others? What joy do you derive in doing that? What? I mean, I'm talking about a story concerning a family in Zambia, the Kaingu'S family. So from what I gathered, the family is very influential. The man is a politician and of course a millionaire. He has a lot of money and assets and all of that. Yes, it's typical of all African politicians. That's not a news, that's not a story. But what I'm here to talk about is the fact that the children keep paying dearly for the father's fame and the father's, wealth. A few years back, one of the Kaingu'S sisters had a video leaked on social media, and from what I gathered, it was so bad, it was all over the place, and eventually justice was served, and everything went down. She managed to pull herself up. At the time, she was studying in the tertiary institution, but she pulled herself together. She completed her studies, and now she's doing okay. She's built something reasonable for herself, and she's doing very fine. Now the younger sister, and when I mentioned this, the very moment I mentioned this, my younger sister comes to mind, because I love my sister to death. I love her so much, and to just imagine that someone would do something to her is just so enraging, So now imagine someone doing this to someone's younger sister. I just got up from bed, but I was so mad. I said, why? I have to say something about it. Now the younger sister to the elder, who had a video leaked some years back, is in a boarding school in Zambia. And now, during one of those moments when as boarding school students, you have your shower and you're just dressing up, you're just being free and carefree and just being a child that you are, one of the students in the hostel recorded a naked video and sent it out on social media. Now the video is all over the internet, making the rounds, and gullible and useless people in Zambia are sharing the video all over the internet and talking about it joyfully, not gleefully, enjoying having a field day about it. It's so unfortunate, really. It's so unfortunate. I feel like this mentality of pull them down, this pull them down syndrome has eaten so deeply into our psyche as Africans, that the moment someone is successful, someone is rich, we feel this sort of anger and resentment towards such people, and any little opportunity we have to do the meanest things to such a person or such a family, we jump at it with all excitement and we do it with reckless abandon. Without a doubt, I know the only reason why people are so joyful and sharing this video on the internet is the fact that this is a child of a rich and influential person in Zambia. I bet you that's the only reason and no other reason. If this video was a video of maybe a child of an unknown person, it wouldn't have gotten this much attention as this particular one has gotten. The fact that this is making the round so much on the internet in Zambia is because this girl is a daughter of a rich man, a politician at that. So obviously Africans, we feel a certain degree of anger towards politicians, and I understand why, because we feel like politicians are the architect of our problem as Africans. Bad leadership, poverty, and increasing bad state of living in Africa. I understand that completely, but you don't have to punish a child for the sins of the father. You do not have to publicize these materials on the internet because you are trying to get back at the father or at the family. No, this is a child in a boarding school. This is a minor, for crying out loud. The damage that you do to this child by sharing this material on the internet sometimes might be irrecoverable. This child might not be strong enough psychologically and emotionally to deal with the magnitude of this issue. And this is what leads to suicide. You have a lot of kids committing suicide everywhere. This is not fair. Let's always, put humanity to the face of things that we do. Put yourself in her shoes. Let's try to be more empathetic towards others. When have we gotten to this? This is not good. Stop it. And if you're a Zambian and you are watching this video and you have this said video in your possession, delete it. That's not fair. Imagine that your own sister or your child is the one who was recorded naked and is being posted all over the internet. How are you going to feel about it? Now put yourself in their shoes and delete that video. If you know someone who has that video, delete it. I mean, this is a child in boarding school, for crying out loud. And when I talk about this, I remember I went to a boarding school. My younger sister went to a boarding school. Boarding schools are places where we go and we are nurtured. We form bonds and lasting relationships with people. As I sit here and talk today, I have a lot of my secondary schoolmates. We still communicate, we still keep in touch, because we are more about bonding. We are more about forming relationships. We found sisters, because I went to an all-girls boarding school. We were like sisters. We were more concerned about protecting one another, not, thinking of ways to destroy the other. And who knows, maybe the girl who did that recording probably didn't mean to put it out there, or she was probably playing, because we play a lot. I remember I was in a boarding school. We would play and we were just vulnerable, and we were carefree because we were children, we were growing up. We would go about naked in the hostel, especially during the heat season. We would sleep naked, we would undress and just be free, because we felt this sense of safety and security being in that space. We saw each other as sisters, friends. We didn't see anyone as a threat. And that's probably how this particular girl felt when she stood and was dressing up. I mean, it's in the hostel, we are all girls, we are sisters. She was dressing up, and then someone was in the corner recording her. And now the video has made a way to the internet, and everybody is gleefully consuming the content. That's not right. Stop it. Delete it. You know someone who has it, tell them to delete it. Why are you being so mean? If you feel a type of way about the parents, then go deal with the parents. Go face the parents. Don't let the child suffer for what the parents are doing. And this also brings me to the next point. Why are phones even allowed? Why are electronic devices even allowed in such a school? My boarding school, phones were prohibited. Nobody was allowed to hold any phone. And if you were caught with any phone, it was seized and you were punished. Why is this school allowing students to come to school with phones and to have electronic devices in their possession? It should not be allowed. The school management should be held accountable for this particular incident. Why should you allow students to have phones in school when they are there to study? If they have to do research on the internet, provide computers for them, not using phones. And the computers should be monitored. The usage of those computers should be monitored. That was how we were treated in the boarding school. We had computer and the computer instructor. So each time we were going to use the computers, we had him man the computers, guiding us on what to do and what not to do. That is how it should be done. If you want to communicate with your child, communicate through the school. I remember in my time we had school guardians. These were teaching and non-teaching staff that our parents entrusted on us in their cares. And each time they wanted to talk to us, they either sent letters through them or they called through them. And we spoke with them on phone. They delivered the messages they needed to deliver to us. And that was it. Everybody was fine. Or the school should have a central phone system when any parent who wants to speak with a child can call through the phone with an adult manning that line. That's how things should be done. Don't let students come with phones into the hostels and use them as devices to pull others down. This will take a huge toll on this particular girl in question. Undoubtedly, I know that. And if she's not strong enough, only God knows what might become of her, emotionally and psychologically. Let's be more protective of one another. Even if not in school settings, let's be more protective of one another in every human interactions we engage ourselves in. That's the right way to do it. That's the right way to go. Honestly. Let's do away with this mentality of pull them down, destroy them. What would you gain by so doing? Talking about this just brings back memories of, a similar incident back then in my university days. She was in the bathroom having her bath. And then someone took pictures of her and posted these pictures on the internet. Guys, people had a field day on campus. In a matter of hours, this picture was all over. Everybody had this picture. And this lady was such a beautiful lady. Curvy, beautiful, very attractive. People had these pictures on their phones. Oh, I have it. Do you want to have it? Can I send it to you? Put on your Bluetooth. I mean, it was all over. In the lecture halls, people were sharing these pictures all over. And just having a good time. At the expense of another human being. Why do people do this? So now we have to be extremely careful about guarding our privacy, because you do not know the next person. Don't even let someone play about recording you. Don't even let anybody play about it. Don't have it. Not even when you are with a sister or a friend. Don't be that careless. Don't let it. Let's try to always have each other's back rather than pulling people down. This is a minor, for crying out loud. The school authority in that school should be held accountable for this singular act, and that particular student should be punished appropriately. You don't do that and go scot-free. The policies in that school should be reviewed. Review your policies, especially on the possession and use of phones and other electronic devices. I mean, we are a human society. We should do things with decorum. Is there a Child Rights Act in Zambia? What does it say about issues like this? These are questions we should ask ourselves now. In Nigeria, things such as this are unacceptable. Children are to be protected at all costs, at every point in time, wherever they are. So if, as a school, if you're that careless to let such a thing as this happen, then you'll be dealt with according to the provisions of the Child Rights Act. And for those of you sharing it, is there any law in Zambia against this kind of issues? Ask yourselves this question. What does the law say? This brings me to the issue of Nigeria. The Senate is debating the social media and hate speech bill, and there's a lot of mixed reaction here in Nigeria. A lot of people of the opinion that, oh, they want to censor everything we are saying. How would they even enforce that? Well, they want to take away our rights and all manner of reactions. But when such a thing as this happens, then you begin to somehow think that a law such as social media and hate speech bill that is about to be passed in Nigeria is justifiable. But these are extreme measures that have to be put in place when the other person does not have the safety and the privacy of the other person at heart and does this. Then you begin to say, okay, this is justified. This hate speech and social media bill should be put in place. Because I tell you what, Nigeria social media is vicious. A lot of things are said and put out there that are absolutely fake. Majority are not true. But these things are damaging. They are damaging to the people, the subjects of the content. Do our governments take these extreme measures to curtail this kind of acts? Let's ask ourselves. If we are debating and pushing against social media and hate speech bill, then are we being responsible with our use of the social media and the internet? Are we being responsible with the kind of information and content we put out there? Let's ask ourselves. If we are being so, then there'll be no need for a hate speech or a social media act. So I've said it. That's pretty much what I wanted to talk about quickly before I proceed to do anything today. This is not right. The school policy should be reviewed. Phones should be prohibited as a matter of urgency. And that child should be punished accordingly. And anybody found sharing this material on the internet in Zambia should be dealt with. Don't be a party to such an act as this, now or in the future. Let's use the internet responsibly. And let's protect one another as we use the internet. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you in my next video. Remember to wash your hands with soap and water and stay safe. Bye.